Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Aries rising, or if you have significant Aries placements in your chart and are needing a neutral energy to help balance masculine and feminine energies within yourself, then this reading is for you. So Aries, this is it's a really lovely reading today. I pulled a lot of cards. I feel like there are sort of like energies that are trying to come together is kind of how it's coming through. So you and another energy, whatever that is for you. But I feel like there may be sort of like a step that's needing to be taken is kind of how it's coming through. And there may be sort of perhaps anxiety about that, or that there's just like I was just getting this energy of like needing to like take a lot of like calming breaths, like taking a lot of deep breaths. But it does feel very aware is kind of how this is coming through. Like it's being aware of one, like how someone's feeling, like how you're feeling. And not letting that sort of affect decision-making processes is how it's coming through. And there's so much support here for you, Aries. Like, there's so much energy that's supporting you is how it's feeling to me. Like, because I feel like whatever it is that you're, whatever it is this next chapter is for you, because it feels very significant, is that it's divinely guided in some way, or that there's like some sort of significant outcome of what this next chapter is how it's feeling to me. It's also coming through. Sorry, I lit like a little bit of sage before this reading, and it's like the smoke is doing something so strange. It's like coming out very slowly. I don't know if that's like, I don't know what that is, but it's like and now it's done. I don't know. That was something weird. Anyways, so at the bottom of the deck, you have here the Fawn, which talks about just sort of like natural magic. It talks about like being very playful, and especially if there's been any sort of period of difficulty, which is kind of how it was coming through. Like there perhaps has been just like, I don't know, heaviness of some sort or something like that. And I feel like it's like wanting to sort of bring in more of lighter energy, or just like reminding you of your natural magic is how it's coming through, Aries, which is really interesting because I feel like the energy of this reading is kind of like, on some level, I feel like you know what the new beginning is, or like what's ahead for you, but there's hesitation. And I'm getting that it's coming through as being like reminding you of your natural magic, because this is an Aries reading. I feel like Aries energy in general is very brave and sort of like really ready to tackle new beginnings, generally speaking. But it's kind of coming through like perhaps there's been sort of like hesitation about that in some way. So with the Fawn is trying to remind you of your natural magic. That's how it's coming through. And then you also have here the Unseen at the bottom of the deck, which is kind of coming through as being like having a lot of support from the unseen, from perhaps specifically like an ancestor or somebody who's passed, is how that's feeling to me. Like it's so much love and support. Perhaps a spirit guide who has perhaps known you for a long time is how it's coming through. Like, especially if you had any like guides, or maybe it was even like an imaginary friend when you were a child. Like, it's coming through like that. Like, it could, if you had an imaginary friend when you were a child, they are coming through as a spirit guide, is how that's feeling to me. It's so playful. It's fun. That's the thing. I feel like maybe they're trying to get you to reconnect to some aspect of fun, or like playfulness, or joy, like laughter, perhaps. Because the first couple of tarot cards to come out, you have here the Nine of Wands, which is coming through very strongly as sort of like a wounded warrior kind of energy, like the very stereotypical kind of wounded warrior, where it's like perhaps you've just been battling, is how it's coming through. You've been battling something, whatever that is, perhaps having to put up a lot of boundaries as well, which is necessary, of course. But the next card to come out here is the Hierophant, which talks about today's coming through as like rules, or just like, so it could be structure as well, because this is sort of like it's not quite structure. So structure can be sort of like any masculine energy. So the Hierophant does come in with that, but it's not Aries, right? This is not an Aries energy. This is a Taurus energy. So it's kind of coming through as being like, maybe you were perhaps like following guidelines or rules from perhaps another person, or perhaps from some sort of like spiritual teaching, maybe. Or it doesn't have to be spiritual, it could be any sort of teaching, like maybe just like following some sort of guideline is how it's coming through, especially with the box. Here's your first archetype card, because this talks about sort of like the rules and regulations, right? The expectation. So maybe it could be someone else's expectation, but it doesn't have to be a person. It could just be like a school of thought or a philosophy, that kind of thing. Which is, it could be something even from your past as well. So it could be religious, but it doesn't have to be. Doesn't feel religious to me. It feels kind of like maybe like a parent, or like schooling is how it's coming through. Okay, and it's interesting because the box is I feel like something that you have been working through, is how it's feeling to me. With these two cards, these two fairies coming out, you have Lace, the Moon's Daughter, and the Singer of Chalice. So the Singer of Chalice is like this, it's all of the good feelings mixed in one. It's like the Ace of Cups. It's love, trust, joy, passion, all of that kind of energy, all mixed into one, all of this positivity. And then this one comes in as being sort of like, I feel like you are maybe having this experience of like opening doors that have been long shut, is how it was coming through. So perhaps from your childhood, or whatever. It doesn't have to be that long ago. It could just be like whatever it was, like before this Nine of Wands energy, because this one can be sort of like, has a lot of boundaries up for whatever reason. So it's kind of like, so maybe you had a lot of sort of like expectations of yourself, maybe. It could be that as well. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, so this one talks about she's coming in again, very playful, like sort of like I'm not sure. It's kind of just coming through as being like wanting to remind you or like open some sort of door from your past or something like that, where it's like maybe you shut yourself off from that is kind of how it's coming through. But it's opening up all of this energy, which is so lovely, because it's coming through like that. You actually had the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So this card might be talking about sort of like going back to the past is how it's coming through to me. Like a rewind, right? So maybe you're having like a dream from the past, because this is coming through with the moon energy. So maybe like having a dream from the past. Perhaps that unlocks some sort of like natural magic is how it's coming through. Or I was getting the word wildness, or like something that wants to be free is how it's feeling to me. Like something that wants to be free. I was kind of getting somebody like climbing like a tower of some sort. It doesn't feel like a tree to me, but it feels like a tower. I don't know what that is. That might be related to the Hierophant energy in some way, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So the next couple of cards, because you have next to your Judgment and Temperance, which is so interesting. So it's kind of like I'm seeing this energy as being like you're getting a glimpse of a past thing that perhaps there's old energy here that needed to be released is how it's coming through. Like old energy that needed to be released, but at the same time it's also liberating some aspect of yourself is how it's feeling. And with the Temperance, because this card talks about transforming that experience is how it's coming through. Sorry, the back of my head is getting itchy. I feel like there's something about like sorry for my dog. This could be talking about some sort of like transformation of experience and releasing something that's no longer serving you, and at the same time getting peace about some new experience is how it's coming through. And I feel like what it is that you're being shown is the next card, which is the Siren energy. I feel like you're seeing this is kind of how it's coming through. And the way that these cards are coming through, like if you just look at the shape of these and also this, the bird's wings, there's like this energy here that is coming through as the Siren. I feel like this is like actually the central energy. This is sort of what this reading is about, is kind of how it's coming through to me. Because it's extremely attractive is how it's feeling. But because it's coming through underneath here with the Sage, I feel like this is where there's resistance, because I feel like there's some sort of, the Sage is a really positive energy. I feel like that's a really good lens to be looking at the Siren energy, because it may be something, it may or may not be I feel like that's your dilemma, Aries, is how it's going through. Perhaps just like being confused about what this is, right? And perhaps using a lot of wisdom to sort out perhaps how you're feeling about it, especially because I feel like it's related to this Hierophant energy. There's like, again, some sort of rules or expectations perhaps that you have of yourself about whatever this is for you. I don't know what this represents for you. It wasn't coming through with well, maybe, I don't know. It could be it's coming, okay, interesting. Okay, so maybe, okay, so I pulled these cards at the end, and I wasn't quite sure like how they were fitting in, but they're placed underneath. The way that they fell onto the table is underneath the siren energy. So you have the Empress, Knight of Swords, Three of Cups twice, and the Queen of Pentacles. So it could be sort of all of this like very positive feminine energy. It could be like a community or a group or friendship or something like that. With the Knight of Swords, I feel like that's you. And it's coming out with the Sun. So again, it feels like a lot of like joy and playfulness. But for some reason, you're coming out with the Sage, right? Like very serious, or like perhaps very serious. Serious doesn't feel like quite the right word. It feels like because the next card you have out here is the Six of Pentacles. Like it's you have responsibilities, or you have like people to take care of, or you have like things to do, right? Like it's like you're busy getting stuff done, or like doing things, or whatever it is that you do. And it's kind of like there's an energy over here that's like extremely playful. Like these ones are just having fun or doing that kind of thing. And it's like, okay, well, you got to do this, right? That's sort of how it's coming through. So it might not be like seriousness in terms of that. It's like your task feels more serious. But what we have next here, you have here the Threshold, which I feel like this card tends to come out a lot during Aries energy readings for me. Like this, because this to me is a very Aries energy, like on the threshold of something, stepping into something new. It does take courage though, and you have here the Singer of Courage. The Leo reading from a couple days ago might be relevant to you. So anyways, it does take a bit of courage. Is this energy bothering you? That's interesting, because the next card you have here is the Five of Wands, right? But this is the after tarot, so the way that I see this card is like the Five of Wands is sort of like a lot of conflict, a lot of noise, a lot of different energies happening that could be in conflict with one another. But this energy comes through as being like, okay, one person's going to take charge and sort of like lead the discussion is how it's coming through. Maybe that's you, Aries. It's interesting, because now it's feeling like with here the Two of Swords coming out next, I feel like that's your energy as well, which is really interesting. There's like, you're not sure what to do about it, is kind of how it's coming through. Why does it feel like a business meeting? Well, what else I heard about this Five of Wands was that someone is ready to listen. Is kind of how it was feeling to me. Like that's what I heard when this card came out. Someone's ready to listen. I don't know who in this dynamic that's for. But after the Two of Swords, you have here the Ten of Swords and the Two of Cups. So this might be sort of like, again with this Ten of Swords, I'm seeing this as being sort of like that judgment energy where it's like old energies are like something from the past maybe, Might not be past though for this one, because this Ten of Swords feels more recent to me. It feels like something is being put to rest, finally. Whatever that is for you. So it's like some sort of like a closure kind of energy, like getting closure about something that was difficult, perhaps. With the Judgment energy, like releasing something, basically, is how it's feeling. And then you have the Two of Cups after that, which is looking to me like a reconciliation of some sort. So someone is ready to listen. And someone is taking charge. I don't know. I don't know who is who in this dynamic for you, Aries. But anyways, after the Two of Cups was the Death energy, which again is talking about sort of like some sort of transition into something new, right? It's not, so it is an ending of some sort, but I feel like because it's coming out with the thresholds, it's like you don't know what's on the other side. So that might be part of the hesitation, is like whatever it is that you're in now feels perhaps like, I feel like maybe you've actually finally gotten peace in your situation. So if there has been something where you've been like battling something, you've been battling, or you've been trying to work through conflict, maybe, because I see this card as being almost like the conflict has settled, or there's like, if it's not peace, it's at least cooperation, is how this is going through here with the Five of Wands. So it's an energy of like, there's cooperation where there once was conflict. So if that's sort of describing your situation now, it's because I'm seeing that as being like, you've reached some sort of like peace about it, is how it's feeling. So now it's kind of just like, okay, you're in sort of like this comfortable place, it feels like. Very comfortable with the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress, like, overcome some sort of challenge and grew from it, is how it's feeling to me. Like you grew from the experience. But there's something else here, because it's kind of like, I feel like whatever the new thing is, it's coming out like this, the Nine of Pentacles. So it's going from the Queen to the Nine, which is kind of feeling like, again, stepping out of a comfort zone, or it's like this has become established where you are now there, which is interesting, this Queen of Pentacles, because this one talks to me about like, if you're creating something or the environment, something about that environment is being reflected back to you. And I feel like it's a very positive, harmonious, happy kind of energy where it's like actually nurturing now. So it could be that your environment's like really nurturing, or has become that when before it wasn't, is how it's coming through. It's really lovely. I feel like you were a big part of that transformation, Aries. Like you contributed a lot of energy into developing or nurturing or growing an environment to make it flourish. To put cooperation where there wasn't cooperation. And I feel like what's coming, so what the unknown might bring is this sort of energy of the Nine of Pentacles, which is kind of like, if this one's on her throne, or I don't want to use that kind of phrasing, because I feel like you're not giving anything up, is how it's coming through, but it is leaving a comfort zone, is how it's feeling. Like, but I see this as being sort of like still the same person, just in a different environment. It could be something like that. Still the same energy, still the same power, still the same sovereignty, right? All of that energy is going with you. It's just feeling like it's in a new environment, or in an environment that hasn't been hasn't been blessed by you, is how it's coming through. Like your energy hasn't been in that environment before, or whatever. I don't know. I kind of don't like using those kinds of words, but that's what's coming through. The new place hasn't been blessed by you yet. But it's like you're still the same person. You're not losing anything. If anything, you would be losing a comfort zone. But I mean, that's sort of what is necessary, is how that's feeling. And what's coming out next, though, you have here the High Priestess, which I feel like is talking. So it's like your intuition, but also some sort of gift or knowledge that you have, or again with the Moon, if you have just gone through any sort of like okay, it's receiving the next step, right? It's like I feel like intuitively perhaps you've already gotten a hint of what's ahead for you, of like what you're going to create next, what you're going to do next. I'm also seeing this though, because the last like 4 cards that are coming out, I feel like is not your energy. It actually kind of feels like it's a 2 of Cups. Someone who is ready to talk or ready to listen. I'm not sure which, a bit of both probably. And then you have here the 4 of Cups, which is interesting because this card is not, I feel like this is not your energy. It's coming out with the 9 of Swords. I feel like this might be another energy, or like whatever it is that's like on the other side of the threshold. It feels like there's an anxious energy here, especially because it's coming out with the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords. So it's like I'm going to say it's a person, but it doesn't have to be that for you. It could be like, it could be an animal here with the fawn. Like a pet or something that has anxiety, which if you've had, it might be that. It might be a pet with anxiety. Like, or if it's not, it could be a person. It doesn't have, it's just like an energy that's coming in with a lot of love and truth. But there's anxiety about rejection is how it's coming through, because so I'm seeing this as you, right? Like you, Aries, are Empress surrounded by 3 of Cups times 2, right? That's your energy. So it's kind of like they're seeing you as this individual here who has 3 cups. So much abundance and happiness and harmony surrounding you. And there's anxiety here about like, if they come forward with their Ace of Cups, it's going to be rejected. That's how it's coming through to me. So I don't know. I don't know what this, if it's not indecision, it's kind of just like, because the 2 of Swords is here, right? The 2 of Swords is here. And at the bottom of this deck, you had the 8 of Wands, which talks about intentions. What is this 2 of Swords? Why is there indecision about this? The Death card again. That doesn't help clarify. It's a big transition. Big transition, I feel like. Big transformation. Big step, maybe. Yeah, it's a big step. All of these cards came out at once. So it might be something that's like, it would change a lot about your circumstances. Not in a bad way. I feel like that's the thing, though. It's an unknown. Ten of Wands. That's interesting. Because this one talks about when you carry a lot of responsibilities. Eventually, you end up dropping some, right? It's kind of like if you have too much on your plate, which is interesting because it's like, this is the Nine of Wands, right? You're starting off with the Nine of Wands. Perhaps you have a lot on your plate already, Aries, and if like whatever it is, this new thing comes in, not that it would be something that you don't want, but it's kind of like there would be a need for like reshuffling or like a redistribution of resources. Knight of Pentacles. I feel like it would have to be a slow transition is how it's coming through. Or I don't, the word slow I feel like is part of the resistance. Gradual, maybe? It would, like, I feel like maybe there's okay. It's not gonna work out if it's all at once is how it's feeling to me, because it's like if you add too much energy at once, it's like eventually something gets dropped. So it's kind of coming through as being like it has to be a gradual transition. Five of Swords came out. And then you have the Empress and the Ace of Pentacles. You have the Empress twice. And 3 aces. Okay. Okay, it's coming through like this. Perhaps whatever's on the other side, this new thing has a lot of potential. I feel like there's an energy that perhaps I'm being like it's kind of like this is because it's like it's a yes, but perhaps not in the way somebody expects is how it's feeling to me, or that like somebody wants more than what is being able to be given at the moment is how it's feeling. Or that if they want all, like something else needs to be sacrificed or given up. And so it's like that might be the hesitation with the Two of Swords. It's like some other responsibility or perhaps like creation or something like that would be put aside in favor of whatever this new thing is. And I feel like that's where the hesitation is. Because the numbers 5 and 3 are very significant here. And you have the Death card twice. Like a huge, like it would, so for example, it's like somebody's asking you for like, if you want to work 5 days a week, for example, if this is like a job or whatever, just as an example, it's like a contract or whatever, a new job opportunity that would be really great for your finances or whatever, right? For your lifestyle, for your passion, for whatever this is. But they want you to work 5 days a week. And you're only able to give 3, because if you were to give 5, 2 of your other days would now be taken up when it's kind of like you have responsibilities or other commitments perhaps on those 2 days, if that makes sense. So it would be a huge shift is kind of how it's feeling, like double death card, in order to fulfill the 5-day a week commitment, if that makes sense. But I feel like it is something that's really positive. It's just a matter of like, it's a matter of getting the details right, is how it's feeling. Okay. And if this is not something that you want, then that also has to be communicated, right? But I feel like it is a positive energy. It's like, yes, something that you want. It's just a matter of like getting the details right. I feel like there's something else as well about like if somebody's asking you for like 5 days, for example, those are just examples. It's actually something about like one of those days is actually something that they need to do on their own, is how it's coming through to me. Because if you were there for all 5 days or something, it wouldn't, I feel like it would be something that didn't benefit either of you, is how it's coming through. It has to be like one of those days, I'm just going to keep using that example, needs to be something that is their own. I don't know how else to phrase it. That's just how I'm going to leave it. Okay, I'm going to pull one more sort of closing card from this Elementals deck. Transformation pressure. I feel like this transformation is happening, right? It's kind of like it's almost like you're almost through the threshold. It's not even that you need to take a step. It's like you're already moving through it naturally, is how it's feeling to me. It's like you're almost at the end, Aries. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. If that was helpful to you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great night. Bye.